May 30th, 1943. Auschwitz-Birkenau, Poland. Daily trains arrived. The air hung heavy with the unmistakable smell of death. Inside the cattle cars, starving men and women, young and old, were packed together with terrified children. Some were already dead. Others were barely conscious, too weak to stand, waiting to be unloaded, lined up, inspected, and divided. On the Judenramp stood a young man holding medical instruments, his spotless white SS physician's coat gleaming against the ash-filled air. He had sworn the same oath as every healer before him. Prisoners looked to him with desperate hope, a doctor, a symbol of salvation. But in Auschwitz, hope was a cruel illusion. The Hippocratic Oath died alongside its victims. With a small movement of his gloved hand, he decided who would live, who would be murdered immediately, and who would be kept alive only to be destroyed more slowly. This was not chaos. This was procedure. This is the chilling true story of the man prisoners feared most. The Angel of Death. At the end of the tracks stood not a soldier, but a physician. And that made him far more dangerous. Before we dive deeper into the haunting past, hit the subscribe button to help us keep creating content and bringing darkness to light. Josef Mengele was born on March 16, 1911, in Günzburg, Bavaria, to a prosperous Catholic family. His father, Karl Mengele, owned a successful agricultural machinery company. Josef was intelligent, charming, sociable, and ambitious, like countless other children. There was no childhood abuse, no trauma, no criminal warning signs. And that is what makes this story so disturbing. By 1930, Mengele was a rising academic star at the University of Munich, studying anthropology. At Frankfurt University, he earned a doctorate in 1935, and a medical degree 3 years later. His research focused on biology, racial hygiene, and jaw morphology. Professors praised him, peers respected him, the system elevated him. And that is the most frightening truth of all. Mengele was not corrupted by science. Science, misused and unquestioned, helped create him. The monster did not emerge from the shadows. He was built in classrooms, rewarded by institutions, and applauded for his brilliance. In 1930s Germany, eugenics was not a fringe belief. It was accepted science, taught in universities, endorsed by institutions, and defended in academic journals. Mengele absorbed it completely. He came to believe some people were biologically superior, while others were biological errors. And in his mind, errors were not to be studied, corrected, or protected. They were to be erased. World War II gave him the stage. Mengele joined the Nazi Party in 1937 and volunteered for the SS in 1938. During the invasion of the Soviet Union, he served as a medical officer with the Waffen-SS. In 1942, he earned the Iron Cross, second class, after pulling 2 soldiers from a burning tank near the Dnieper River, celebrated as a hero. After being wounded, he was declared unfit for frontline service. Instead of punishment, he was rewarded. In May 1943, at his own request, Josef Mengele was transferred to Auschwitz-Birkenau. There, science became a vehicle for horror. When ideology met opportunity, Mengele didn't hesitate. Auschwitz was not a detour in his career, it was its fulfillment. Between May 1943 and January 1945, Mengele became the hand of death at Auschwitz-Birkenau. Each transport brought between 1,000 and 3,000 people. With a single casual gesture, left or right, he decided their fate. Approximately 70 to 75% were sent directly to the gas chambers, where they would be dead within 30 minutes. Entire families vanished in moments, erased by his indifferent judgment. Tens of thousands died at his command. Witnesses said Mengele was different. Other officers drank to numb themselves. Mengele didn't need to. He smiled. He joked. Dr. Miklos Nijli later wrote, Mengele could send 1,000 people to their deaths in an afternoon and then whistle while reviewing his notes. To him, this wasn't cruelty, it was efficiency. Death became routine, and routine became entertainment. Twins were Mengele's obsession. Barracks 1 housed twin girls aged 2 to 16, alongside boys up to about 8 years old. Barracks 15 held older boys, adult men, and individuals with traits Mengele found especially valuable. Deformities, dwarfism, and genetic anomalies. Barracks 22 sheltered twins under the age of 2, often kept with their mothers, under Mengele's constant surveillance. Children were injected with phenol, chloroform, infectious agents, and untested chemicals. Eyes were torn from their sockets, sometimes while victims were still alive. Those with altered iris colors were marked for death. Blood was drained until hearts failed. Limbs were amputated without anesthesia. Organs were removed and preserved in jars of formaldehyde. Even survival offered no escape. One survivor recalled twins sewn together vein to vein, screaming through the night as infection consumed them. Mengele called it research. In his pursuit of knowledge, childhood itself became expendable. Mengele ran a so-called kindergarten in the gypsy camp. He handed out candy. He smiled. The children called him Uncle Mengele. Children vanished regularly. Their toys came from murdered Jewish children elsewhere in the camp. The entire display was staged for visiting SS officials and Red Cross observers. The killing rooms were never shown. The illusion of mercy became another instrument of murder. As Soviet forces approached in January 1945, Mengele executed remaining test subjects, destroyed evidence, and fled Auschwitz on January 18, 1945. Captured by U.S. forces in June 1945, he escaped due to bureaucratic failure. Using the alias Helmut Gregor, he fled to Argentina in 1949, aided by Nazi escape networks, and protected under Juan Perón. Later, he lived in Paraguay and Brazil. Despite a West German arrest warrant and a $3 million bounty, Josef Mengele was never captured. He remarried, he made money, he grew old. The victims never escaped Auschwitz, but their executioner did. In 1977, Mengele met his son, Rolf Mengele. He told him, "I did nothing wrong. I was helping the children." On February 6, 1979, Josef Mengele suffered a stroke while swimming near Bertioga, Brazil. He died free. His identity was confirmed only in 1985 after forensic exhumation. Justice never found him, and remorse never touched him. Josef Mengele represents something more dangerous than insanity. He represents educated evil, evil with credentials, evil protected by systems. When morality is removed from science, the result is not progress. It is Auschwitz. History has shown again and again that men like Mengele are not anomalies. They are warnings. Remembering him is not about the past, it's about protecting the future. If you're interested in stories like this one and in uncovering the past, please subscribe and continue joining us in bringing darkness to light.